The 1986 EDSA People Power Revolution of 37 years ago had an anthem. It was Handog ng Pilipinos sa Mundo. On the eve of the release of a re-recorded version, 3 of the participating artists join us to talk about how they made this happen, where they were in EDSA 86, and EDSA's relevance today. Now that the son and namesake of the man unseated in 1986 is president. I'm Pia Hontiveros. Welcome to your weekly political appointment fix, Politics as Usual. Our guests for tonight via Zoom, 2 of the original artists who sang Handog ng Pilipino sa Mundo in 1986, Celeste Legaspi and Leah Navarro. We also have, as described by Celeste, a content creator, event host, drag performer, and queen, the witty, wicked, and wise motherly auntie of social media, our Tita Baby. Good evening to everyone, Ma'am Celeste. Good evening, ma'am. And
hello.
Leah, good evening. Disclosure, we're cousins, first cousins. And Tita Baby, good evening to your aquamarine eye makeup.
Pati pamaypay ko aquamarine.
Oh, may pamaypay ka rin. Ako rin, I have pamaypay also. Baliktad. Anyway, okay, well, let's talk about this re-recording. So my main question here is, how did you all make this happen and how did this project come together? Yung kwento lang ng behind the scenes. Let's begin. Who shall begin first? Age before beauty or beauty before age? Oh, Leah.
I will keep quiet.
It's my fault.
Your fault. Okay.
It's mainly my fault. Yes. And then Celeste took over. So I had a rant one night about 3 or 4 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago. And I said, it would be so nice if we could get everybody together to do a remake of Handog ng Pilipino sa Mundo together with young artists to sort of bridge the generations. That was the word. And I was a little surprised, but not really, that my dear friend Celeste said, let's go with it. This was in our little chat. So I guess Celeste can pick it up from there.
Wow, and 3 weeks ago, Celeste, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, actually, we've been, Leah and I have been working, and with Tita Baby also. We have been working with a group of artists for maybe since November or October of 2022 or 2021. And so we were working together, coming up with all kinds of things. And when Leah brought up that idea, we just thought it was a great idea. It was a wonderful idea. And so it was easy to get other artists to be interested in it because nga, we had been working together na. What was fascinating for me was that we realized that we had to do fundraising because we didn't have any money for this kind of thing. We only had our talents. So we started fundraising, like say February 2. By February 4, we had the money that we needed. It was amazing. I mean, it's like we touched a nerve, and so many just had to respond, and respond so generously. Until today, actually, I'm still getting requests how to be able to send money to donate for this project. So that was heartwarming and amazing for us, for all of us, at how fast we were able to get the funding that we needed for this. Nobody is getting paid actually. We needed the funding because we needed funds because we wanted it to be in a real studio. We wanted it to be with real professional people, and we couldn't naman the crew and the staff. We didn't want them naman to be not
Not paid.
receiving anything, you know. But they really slashed their rates, and then we didn't want anybody to get hungry. We wanted to make sure that everybody will be well fed. So that was what we needed the money for, and
We
there
ate
it was.
very
And
well.
when
Mm.
yeah, we ate very well. And then when we finally got together to record, it was such a joyous occasion to be coming together on a project that we all felt would make a difference, especially for the young people.
Well, apart from joyous, I guess fast is the operative word. Like you said, Ma'am Celeste, a while ago, you did this in 3 weeks' time. In 2 days' time, you had the funds for this project. How did it, that's why, my question, how did this project come together? How did things fall into place? Para bang di ba, para bang when something is really meant to happen or meant to be, it will happen, it will be. Parang serendipity, just, and then
Parang
kanina,
ganun.
and then
Yeah,
kanina
it was more.
yeah.
It was pretty serendipitous, and I think it would be nice to find out how Tita Baby felt about having to be invited, because we wanted to be very inclusive. We wanted to have artists from all genres, types, everything, and Filipinos who have love for country, and so when the drag queens were invited, it caused quite a stir.
Right. Wow.
It
Caused
really
quite
did.
a stir.
And we
Well,
all got super excited.
yeah, everybody's super excited now. And I like what you said,
Ano,
Leah. Oo.
their entrance into the studio talaga was
Talaga.
ang mga reyna talagang dumating.
So inclusive, bridging the
Talagang
generations.
they're bigger than life, literally. They're larger than life.
Yeah.
And they're just so gorgeous.
Oo.
And their time has really come in the Philippines.
Yeah, yun ang
Now is the time.
Yun ang isang behind the scenes, no, yung entrance ni Tita Baby and entrance now into the conversation. So Tita Baby, ang ganda na sinabi ni Leah kanina, inclusive, bridging the generations and the genres. When you were asked to be part of this, what was your first, thought, the first thought that came to mind, and did you say yes kaagad, and why did you want to be part of this?
Well, they were talking about producing this for 3 weeks, no? Tita Celeste just called me 3 days before the shoot.
Wow. Okay.
And I had to clear my schedule on the 3rd day because when they talked about redoing the video or coming up with a reboot of the video, I remember I was very young when this song came out back in 19.
How old? How young
So
were
it
you then?
A lot to me. It meant a lot to me as a person, as a young person, as much more now na they're asking me to join them. So it's a real privilege. It's a real honor to be invited and to be part of this wonderful set of artists.
How old
Tsaka
are
libre.
How old or how young were you in 1986, Tita Baby?
I'm going to date myself now.
Go naman.
I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
19.
Okay.
Yes, 8.
Okay.
So plus 12, I'm just 20.
Okay. We're gonna. The next block, we're going to be talking about where were you in EDSA 86. So this is a perfect segue to that in just a bit. We're going to be back after this very quick break. Please stay tuned because Celeste Legazpi, Leah Navarro, and Tita Baby are with us tonight on the show. Welcome back. This is Politics as Usual. We're talking about a re-recording of Handog ng Pilipino sa Mundo. It was the anthem of the 1986 EDSA People Power Revolution. Still with us, legends in their fields, Celeste Legazpi, Leah Navarro, and Tita Baby. Before we talk about where were you in EDSA 86, I just want to go back very briefly to what you mentioned earlier. No? So you had professionals working with and for you, among them Direct Mike Alcazaren, who was, well, of course, your director. Tell us more about that and tell us more of the behind the scenes, Leah.
Well, because of the way people meet these days, we don't really get together very quickly, like face to face. But we had this lovely lady, Janet Yong, who is a producer, and Richie Chan, who is one of our members in our little chat group and performing group. And they pulled in Mike Alcazaren, who is a documentarist and a filmmaker. And he had, it was very coincidental. He apparently was an apprentice of Mike De Leon, the original creator, the creator of the original video. And so he was there filming his own footage with a Super 8 throughout the 4 days, 5 days of EDSA. Okay, so here we are, 37 years later. He had digitized all his footage, and I don't know at all what he had planned for this, but when they pulled him in, it was like we fit together like a glove, and we didn't even sit down to we had a very quick meeting over Zoom, but he got the vision, he got what we wanted to have happen, and that's why it's almost miraculous, because most productions take a long time. You have to sort things out creatively, etc. But he had the vision. He knew it. He got it, and it was so easy. And we shot everything in 2 days, with a few days apart in between each shooting day. And then it was cut, and everything's done. It's done, and we're dropping it tomorrow.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's fantastic. It was superlative cooperation among all of us.
Superlative cooperation, fit like a glove, miraculous, serendipitous.
Let's not forget,
Celeste.
let's not forget, Leah, that we had a wonderful arrangement. We had a wonderful new arrangement for the song. That was, it made a very big difference. Suddenly, parang it had a dimension that was not there in the original.
By the way,
to my mind, it made the song bigger. And
yeah. By the way,
because the arrangement was like that.
Ma'am Celeste and Leah, are you singing your original lines that you sang back in '86?
I am.
You are.
I am singing my original.
We can't wait for the song to drop tomorrow. Okay.
Not me,
Not you.
but Celeste is. And
There's a story behind
Tita
my
Baby, most how do you say, the best bombastic line in the video. Of course, we can't forget Brian Kuya. Brian Kua was our arranger, and of course the composer of the song, Jim Paredes. He's there. He's with us, of course, along with Buboy Garovillo, and so as you will see when you see the video tomorrow, how we were able to modernize and add even more Filipino flavor to the melody and through the arrangement.
Okay. Tita Baby, before we talk about the story behind, may sinasabi si Ma'am Celeste kanina, story behind. Tita Baby, ikaw muna. Meron kang bombastic line. Ano yun sa'yo?
Ayun. So the line goes, magkakapatid tayo lahat sa Panginoon. So that was the line that we were given. Magkakapatid sa Panginoon, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it was strategic for queens, for drag queens, myself, Precious Paula Nicole, and beginning to actually sing that part. Because naman our society and how LGBTQIA the community is seen and is treated by the general society. So it means a lot for the LGBTQIA society community for us to actually have sung that line na whatever gender you are or kung ano man soji mo and all that. We are all brothers and sisters and everything in between under one God.
But also how the LGBTQIA community is loved. Don't forget that, Tita Baby. Pero Tita Baby, can you sing that one line?
Yeah.
Can you sing that one line? Just that one. No.
Ang hirap nito ha. Teka lang. Mi. Ano ba yun? Tita Celeste, you have to help here.
Magkakapatid lahat sa Panginoon.
Lahat sa Panginoon.
Beautiful voices pa rin.
Bigla ka naging shy, baby.
Okay, nako 8:17 na, talagang time flies, no? You're having so much fun sa kwentuhan. So I forgot, we have to ask you pala, so where were you in EDSA 86? So kanina, Tita Baby said, you were 8 years old at the time. So my follow-up question there lang, Tita Baby, is you were aware of EDSA 86 as it was happening, right? Or you were not? And you were home? And ano yung kwentuhan? Sige.
If I remember, my family kasi lived in a far city, so we couldn't go to EDSA. No, and I had a younger brother with me. We were too young to be brought to something that could be kasi para siyang war. This don't know ha, itong mga baka yung mga nakikinig na bagets ngayon, they don't understand how scary 1986 was, because it was parang biglaan. People were on the streets and tanks were assigned to go to the streets to face the people. Come on, people in tanks. Diba? So, I was very young. We were all seeing this on TV. We couldn't go because we were living in a far city. So, but I know a lot of people were there from even further cities and even further provinces. So, I think they're trying to protect us from the dangers of 86 revolution. But I was a young person, even kami, kaibigan, young people, we were aware because we see it on TV.
Okay.
No, and I understand that even though I was very young, we were coming from a different. We were shifting from one era to another.
Okay.
Yon. So to a certain level. You know, and then we started studying it in school. A year after, 2 years after, it's already part of the curriculum in school. So I'm like, wow, this is a really big thing pala. It really meant a lot for a lot of Filipino people back then.
Okay. Ma'am Celeste, and Leah, I know this sounds strange, no, but we need to ask you, let's not forget that so many young people watching now, remind us where you were in EDSA 86. Ma'am Celeste.
When Cardinal Sin started to call for people, we were at home, and it was like maybe 6 p.m. already. So we said to ourselves, my husband and I, we said, well, come on, let's go. And we just dropped everything, made sure that the kids were safe, and then we went to EDSA. And I remember pa nga, we had just had freshly baked pandesal sa bahay namin, so we brought it. And we didn't know what we were gonna do with it, but there we were. We brought pandesal to EDSA, and then the next day we stayed there until we could, and then the next day we went back. There was a parent-teacher conference in the school of my son, and it was so surreal nga because people were still in EDSA and we were there making oye dun sa parent-teacher And then there was news na the tanks were coming. So sabi namin, we have to go back. We have to go back to EDSA dahil the tanks were coming. So we went there, and then somehow hindi kami nakauwi after that, the second day na nagpunta kami doon. Kasi we were told to go to Radio Veritas and help protect Radio Veritas. And then after that, Lino Broca would tell us to go back to EDSA, and then after that he told us to go to Channel 4. And that
Okay.
was where I spent the rest of the time in Channel 4. I was the head of the food brigade in Channel 4 during the day. And Girlie Rodis, who was with me, my friend, my manager, she was in charge of the food brigade in Channel 4 at night. So
Okay.
until it ended, Marcos fled.
Interesting that you talk about the food brigade, food and pandesal, because I remember all those stories, people bringing food to EDSA and then just sharing it
Yes.
with everyone else. We're going to
Yes.
ask
And
Leah.
just sharing,
Yeah, the
just
sharing.
sharing.
Yeah. We're going to ask Leah when we come back about
Oh.
where she was in EDSA 86. We'll be reminded by that. More from our guests when we return. This is Politics as Usual.
Bisig madre, pari at sundalo. Naging langit itong bahagi ng mundo. Huwag muling payagang
You're still on Politics as Usual. It's always difficult to squeeze in 37 years of history in less than 30 minutes, but we're going to try. We have a last 5 minutes to go. This is our final stretch. So I wanted to ask, before we talk about relevance today of EDSA 1986, very briefly to Leah Navarro, who's joining us via Zoom, along with Celeste Legaspi and Tita Baby. Leah, where were you in EDSA 86?
First, we were in Villa San Miguel. We brought, my friends and I, NAMFREL friends and I, brought Christian Monsod and Joe Concepcion to speak and meet with Cardinal Sin. After about an hour, they had prepared a statement which was eventually read by Cardinal Sin on the radio, calling people to come out and support Ramos and Enrile, who were holed up in Crame at the time. Oh no, sorry, Aguinaldo. And from there, we went straight to the gate on Boni Serrano of Aguinaldo. It was closed in our faces, and we were there from the beginning, from no people at the gates to hundreds of people, and food being brought over, the gate to supply the people inside with nutrition and whatever they needed. And then we walked from that gate all back down to EDSA, and we were amazed. This was at about midnight of the first night. We were amazed at how many people were out there and how many people actually, heeded the call of Cardinal Sin.
All right.
So it was for me, I was very proud to be part of history. And that there were so many millions of people that were experiencing it with me.
Okay. Of course, you referred to Ramos and Enrile. We're speaking about former President Fidel V. Ramos, who passed away late last year, and Enrile, meaning JPE, who is now Presidential Chief Legal Counsel, Juan Ponce Enrile. Last 2 minutes. So we have to squeeze in everything now. We're going to talk about relevance now that another Marcos is in Malacañang, and also plug the video that's coming out tomorrow, that is dropping tomorrow. Let's begin with Tita Baby first, and then Celeste Legaspi, and then Leah Navarro. Tita Baby?
Okay, they say, diba, if you don't learn your history lesson, history is bound to repeat itself. So we are here to promote this video and this song that was very historic, this very historic song, and redoing it for fresher eyes or fresher audience, because, freedom is timeless. Diba? The freedom to express yourself, the freedom to be yourself, and the freedom to actually become a people. So that's timeless. Before, the song was about a victory, but now the song is about a call to action, a challenge to the new ones, to the young ones. Na, parang, ay, that's been long ago na, honey, no.
Okay.
No, freedom is timeless. So there, thank you.
So there, Tita Baby, thank you. Ma'am Celeste Legaspi.
That song was a very important part of my life. People Power on EDSA was a very important part of my life. I was young, I had a family to take care of, but we went out into the street and we didn't even for a minute think that we could be killed. But the danger was there. So that was a very important part of my life. And over the years, it seemed to have been, forgotten, talked about badly, misunderstood. So this is a chance for us to capture that moment and to make it for the young, really for the young. So that they will see, they will hear, they will be able to understand how it was like before. So that, as Tita Baby said, we will not forget. And it is a challenge, it is a call to action. Because freedom, democracy, kalayaan, we cannot take that for granted. It can disappear. And we have to fight for it. We have to hold it close to our hearts and fight for it.
Okay. Leah?
Well, what both ladies said is absolutely right. We can't allow revisionism to take over, and these efforts to try and change history are abhorrent. I think we have to remind people that these 4 days on EDSA really happened. But to many, EDSA is just, these days, a thoroughfare, a highway with many cars and traffic. But in essence, EDSA is an idea. No? That freedom is very important, that we must cherish it, that we must guard it, and we must not allow history to repeat itself. Although sadly, because of revisionism, history has repeated itself. So we hope that there will be an awakening now. We will never erase EDSA. And we will always be on EDSA because EDSA is in our hearts.
Thank you so much to our guests tonight, Leah Navarro, Celeste Legaspi, and Tita Baby. And as Tita Baby said, freedom is timeless. We've been told before, don't talk politics at the dinner table or the family reunion or in Viber groups and risk warfare, digital or otherwise. But we can talk about it here at this table on this show, your weekly political appointment fix. Politics as usual. I'm Pia Hontiveros. See you back here next Wednesday, 8 p.m.